2, 1,
Good. Same thing here.
1, 5, 2.
Can you feel this on both sides?
Yeah,
That?
yeah.
Good. Feel this here. Alright. Pull your foot up. Just your foot. Yeah, not your leg, just your foot. Good. Push down. Okay. Does this feel the same on both sides?
Yeah,
It does. Okay. This too?
yeah.
I'm just gonna wash my hands real quick. So, you just got back from your imaging
Yeah,
of the head?
MRI, whatever.
MRI? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, the preliminary read from the radiologist on that imaging is that you had a stroke.
I had one?
Yeah.
Wow.
That is the preliminary read. So the formal read is still yet to come, but that was a preliminary read. So I anticipate that won't change dramatically. So it looks like you had a stroke, and the stroke is actually posteriorly, so not really affecting any of the front part of your brain or the top of your brain, but more posterior circulation of your blood supply of the posterior part of your brain. And it's affecting a part of the brain stem as well, and that's why you're feeling these symptoms. The caliber, the size of your vessels in general are not real big, smaller than what we would say a normal, maybe a normal person's blood vessel is. And you have a lot of risk factors for stroke. We know that you have disease of your vessels because of your coronary disease, the
Right.
stents that you got. So the same vessels that, the same makeup of vessels that supply your heart, supply your brain too. And so since you have damage here, it's not too far-fetched that you have some vascular disease of the brain as well. So that's one thing. Another thing is your diabetes.
Yeah, so.
So diabetes wreaks havoc on blood vessels and is a huge risk factor for stroke. So that's contributing. Okay, sleep apnea, obstructive sleep apnea is a strong contributor to strokes. That's what we see in the literature.
So I'm set for stroke, a major stroke.
Yeah. So that
All my stuff.
Yeah. So you
diabetes.
Yes, there's a lot of risk factors for that. Now, for you to have a stroke. Now, these are all risk factors that we can work on. We can modify some of these things. And did you say you're a smoker at all?
No.
No. So these are some things that we can work on modifying. And the neurology team is seeing you as well, and so we'll have to await their final recommendations. But strokes are on a continuum, so you can have mild strokes and you can have very severe strokes. Just one floor below us is the neurocritical care, where people have had large strokes. You can have a stroke due to decreased blood flow to portions of the brain, or you can have stroke from hemorrhaging or bleeding of the brain. It looks like your version is a ischemic stroke or a poor blood flow cause, which is the most common cause. I'm encouraged that overall you're feeling a little bit better, but you're still having a little bit of symptoms. So, like I said, we're gonna have to start working on modifying some of these risk factors so that you don't have another stroke that could be, a severe stroke.
Okay.
So the neurology team, the specialists, they are following you. They are aware. We have you on all the appropriate medications right now. And so we're just going to have to, I'm just going to watch you closely. Certainly overnight, the neurology team will see you again in the morning. I don't anticipate they'll be back this evening, but They'll probably await the final read on that MRI before they see you again tomorrow to come up with a plan.
Mhm.
In the meantime, our team, we are going to work on your blood sugar control. We're going to work with the insulin that you're getting. And then also we're going to have a diabetes educator come and talk to you about healthy foods to eat, what kind of the disease process in general and why it's important to get your sugars under control and that sort of thing. Another study, just to give you a heads up, another study that the neurology team may want to get on you is an ultrasound, not of the heart, not just an ultrasound that they put on your chest wall, but one where they actually go down through the esophagus and put the ultrasound behind the heart, because they can get better views of the heart that way. And the reason, I'll let them explain this a little bit more, but the reason they would do this is to check for any sort of clots that you may have in the heart that you could have pumped out to cause a stroke as well. I'm not saying that they'll want to do that, but just to give you a heads up, that's something that they may want to do. In the meantime, we have you hooked up, all these wires, we have you hooked up to monitor your heart rhythm, because sometimes if you have a heart rhythm abnormality, that can cause a stroke because it can cause a clot in the heart, which, like I said, can be pumped out. So, okay. Do you have any questions for me?
How old are you, Mr. Wallace?
64.
So let me interpret what I heard. You're fat, you're fat, you're fat. The risk factors are great. You can reduce those risk factors by paying attention to the diabetes people, by not doing what you want to do, and you can get those risk factors down so you're not in here with a major stroke. Because you're like this, I ain't coming to see you. It's going to be your fault. When they ain't changing your doo-doo diapers, it's going to be your fault. Because I'm not going to come up here when you're making the choices not to do the right things. Ain't going to happen.
So
You got the wrong one.
So it sounds like you got someone here to push you. I'm not gonna throw a guilt trip on you or anything. Like I said, there are some things that we can definitely work on to prevent the potential that this can happen again. Sometimes even modifying these risk factors, these things happen. But we got to give you the best chance.
Right.
You got a whole lot of life to live left. So.
Jeremiah and Leah want to see you at graduation.
Yeah.
So
I thought it was the medicine change. I didn't think I had a stroke, but I couldn't figure it out. I'm saying I got these symptoms, and my blood sugar changing the medicine. I thought that was it, but she told me the blood sugar would go down. But
blood sugar, when it gets down real low, so I'm talking in the 60s, which you're not anywhere near that, 60s, 50s, 40s, when it gets down that low, sometimes you can act like you have a stroke, but you don't really have one. And the reason that happens is because our brain, to function, it needs sugar. It needs sugar to it's like its food. Sugar is its food. Now your body, the sugar is way too high, which is diabetes. Your body doesn't utilize sugar as it should. But when you starve the brain from any sugar at all, then you start acting like you have a stroke. But your blood sugars have not been low; they're in fact high, which is what we're going to work on.
Now, if your sugars, excuse me. So if you got high blood, there's more chances of what?
If you have high blood sugar?
Yeah, all the time, yeah.
So if you have high blood sugar all the time, which is essentially diabetes, so your body just doesn't use sugar as well, what happens is it cakes the vessels, and so you can have a lot of vascular disease. So heart attacks, you're at risk for kidney disease, and your kidneys shutting down, so you could be on dialysis.
Yeah, it did once.
The vessels that supply your nerves can be damaged, so you get painful feet, and then sometimes you don't feel at all. That can predispose you to infection. So if your blood sugar is high, that puts you at risk for infection. So you could have
Lose
your
a limb.
exactly. So you could lose a limb, you could lose your
Like me, Junior?
eyesight. So all these things, if sugar goes unchecked, it can wreak havoc. Stroke, you know, it can wreak havoc on your body. So,
Okay.
yeah. So it's a serious thing.
Yeah.
But like I said, we have some stuff that we can help you with, but you got to take it. You got to
Right.
take the Lantus. You can't be
Yeah.
missing doses like you
Right.
are now.
Yeah.
And
Right.
you know, an exercise program, nothing crazy. You know, not going to join CrossFit or anything, but you know, just making sure you're walking each day. You know, start out.
What is the best exercise for him? Swimming?
So swimming is a good exercise. I'll tell you, the best exercise is what you're gonna do. So any exercise is better than no exercise at all.
Okay.
So if you enjoy swimming, you know, I know you're a large gentleman. So if walking hurts your joints,
Yeah.
Absolutely, you can get in the pool. But walking on a treadmill has a little bit more of a give than concrete. So walking on a treadmill, even just for 5 minutes, and then working your way up to 10 minutes, and working your way up to 15. You know, it's baby steps. You got to start somewhere.
Yep.
But you know, whatever exercise you can get excited about and do, that's what I want you to do.
Okay.
Okay. Some sort of aerobic exercise would be best. Not for these purposes. Not so much weight training. Exercise.
Cardiovascular.
Yeah, exactly.
I do an hour on the elliptical every day.
But this is all stuff that the diabetes educator can talk to you in more depth about,
Yeah.
because they have a little bit more time to spend with you to talk to you about these things. So write down questions if you have questions.
Okay.
And our team will be in each day to give you updates and kind of talk to you and see where things are at.
Okay.
I would say at the earliest tomorrow afternoon we could get you discharged. If not, then we're looking at Sunday. But
Okay.
we don't want to
Alright.
keep you here any longer than you need to be, but we also don't want
What's
to
your
send you
last
out
name, Whip?
prematurely. Yes.
Whip?
I'm sorry. I got my badges.
And whip.
That's right.
That's how
Like,
how you say it?
You need to
Like-
get whipped into
like-
shape.
Yeah, like whoosh, like a whip,
With extra peel. On the
or
end.
like whip and name.
Oh.
I get that pretty often. So
Dr. Whip and Dr. Nene. Well, thank you.
yeah,
You came in right at the right time.
yeah, absolutely.
You know I'm here when you leave.